In the context of probability, we often deal with the probability of some particular outcome of some experiment. The set of all outcomes of an experiment is called the sample space. If our experiment was to flip 3 coins, then an example outcome could be tails, tails, heads. For this experiment, our sample space would be all potential outcomes. So our set includes the results or outcome of flipping 3 heads, flipping heads, then tails, then heads, tails, then heads, then heads, tails, then tails, then heads, heads, then heads, then tails, heads, tails, 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 heads, tails, and tails, tails, tails. Given a sample space S, an event is a subset of S, meaning that E is a set of outcomes. The outcomes in an event are called favorable outcomes. We say an event occurs if it contains at least one outcome. Let's consider the experiment of flipping a coin, followed by rolling a die. Example outcomes include flipping a tails and rolling a 3, or flipping a heads and rolling a 6. If we were to define H to be the event of flipping a heads, then we could list the elements of H to be a heads and then a 1, a heads and then a 2, a heads and a 3, a heads and a 4, a heads and a 5, or a heads and a 6. Or we could let E be the event of rolling an even number. So we could list the elements of E to be a heads and a 2, a tails and a 2, a heads and a 4, a tails and a 4, or a heads and a 6, or a tails and a 6.